Hello YouTube, welcome back to another DIY maintenance home building skills workshop type video. The little job I'm doing today is putting up a curtain, well, the curtain poles. So I've started doing the job already. I got a couple of little holes left to drill, so I'm just going to talk through what I've done already. I'm not going to show what I've done, I'm just going to talk through it because it has taken a long time just to get it all right. But the reason why I haven't gone with the old poles and the old holes, the last person left, because I don't know who they are. So they could have put them up wrong. Also, I don't know what type of poles they had or what length of poles they had. I'm not even sure if it's a pole, if it's a batten, or there's different things they could have used. Also, the length of the curtains decides how high the curtain pole needs to go. So I'll talk you through what I've got. I've got a metal curtain pole. It came as a set with the ends on already, and it's got 4 brackets, but I'm only going to use 3 because the pole extends longer and I don't need to be that long. But I'm going to put one in the middle, one on the ends, and then the one in the middle will stop the curtains going past halfway. So if I put 4, well, then you won't be able to open the curtains very easily. So what I did was, the first thing I did, I went to the old holes and I pulled out the old wall plugs, which they left in the walls. They'd actually used filler and paint to go over some other wall plugs, but they left them so you can still see them, and there's a bump. I'm going to sand it and fill it and all after I finished with my holes, just in case I go wrong or something. So there is still the mess and there's rough walls and stuff, but that'll be done later on. So I needed to measure for my curtain poles. So first of all, I drew a pencil line. I put masking tape on the wall first. I know I'm going to paint it and sand it, but masking tape on the wall. And then I put a pencil line with the spirit level up the side of the wall. That line there then is vertical. It says on the box to add 15 to 30 centimetres out to the end of the pole. Now I've got quite a long pole. It's got a lot of spare. I think it's 3 metre length and I only need 2.5 or 2.6 metres. So I'll have loads of spare. So it's a big window. I think it'll look a bit daft if I have it cut too short. So I'm going to have it nice and wide out to the side. I also know the curtains I've got are way too big. So they're going to be a lot of ripples and overlaps. So it'll be fine to bring it right out. And the further right you have it, the less light is going to shine through the sides of the curtain. So I've gone for the full 30 centimetres out. It then says to move 7 centimetres back in to where the bracket's going to go. So I moved 7 centimetres back in. For the height, it does say about 5 to 10 centimetres above that line. So I measured up, but what I did was I held the curtains up against the ceiling. I don't want the curtains to touch the ceiling, so I've left about a centimetre down, so they don't quite touch the ceiling, and that's perfectly, not the perfect size for mine because the curtains are 228 centimetres long. Everyone's got different size rooms, and my curtains almost touch the floor. They don't want dragging. There is a type of curtain you can get which drags the floor. These ones are meant to be to just come to the floor. So there's going to be about a centimetre or 10 mils gap at the top and a centimetre, 10 mil gap at the bottom, which is just perfect for me. So I haven't gone with the 5 to 10 centimetre guide up. I just went with the height of the curtain pole and the holes in the curtains. And then I put the first bracket there at the 7 centimetre mark. So the side of the bracket, let's go and grab a bracket now. The side of the bracket went onto the outside of that 7 centimetre gap. There. And then there's 2 holes to drill. When you put the bracket on, it's going to go in the hole and then slot down. So we'll actually be in that thinner part of the hole at the top. And there you go. What I did then was, I could have measured. I did measure the centre line of the window. It's 202 centimetres across all the way. So 101 centimetres in the middle. It's not perfect, so I measured 101 from one side, 101 from the other side, and then centred that, sorry, that green line's well nice. And then I centred that green line, that pencil line Again, I used a bit of masking tape, and then I put a spirit level up the wall. Then I'm using this new green tool. What it is, it's a laser level on a tripod. I'm using a camera tripod, but it needs to be the height of the ceiling. You can get these poles which stick to the ceiling and the floor, and then it raises and lowers. That's just my camera tripod. So because I needed to go that high, I've had to use some polystyrene packing to make it that high, and then it levels itself. So instead of going off the measurement from the window, because if I now went up, if I measured over there, the height up to the holes, and I measured here up to the holes, I'm hoping that that window is square and level and built properly, like 70 years ago, but it probably isn't. So I want my curtains to be level. If I had someone to help me, I could screw the first bracket in, hold the curtain pole across, and then use my spirit level on top of the pole, and then make sure the pole's level, and then measure it in. But I'm by myself, so I'm using this green laser level. So what I've done is, I've just got that green line to run through the bottom hole, and that goes all the way across, and then I got that vertical level line to go down on that pencil line. You can't quite see it now because the line's on it, but then the horizontal and the vertical cross is where my bottom hole is going to be. So I'm not measuring it, I'm just trusting the laser level's good. It's on the automatic leveling sensor setting, so hopefully that should be the bob on centre of the window, 101 centimetres, and level with that other hole. So then I got a bracket, I centred it up, drilled the 2 holes. Then again, without using the curtain pole itself, I could have put it all together, put it into the middle hole, then across the other hole. I could have done that. There is one possible problem with doing my way, is when the poles fit together, one goes inside the other one. So maybe at the one end, there might be a bit of a different height, but I can fudge that. So following that green line, this side, I put masking tape on the wall again. I measured 30 centimetres out, like it did the other side, and then I measured the 7 centimetres back in. I put the bracket up against the wall to the side of the line. I held it up in place, and I got my bottom hole to line up with that green line. And then the top hole is obviously just the top hole of here. So if you look, that green line over there runs exactly through the cross, and it runs exactly through that hole there, and it runs exactly through that hole there. I've drilled the first 2 holes, so I used a 7mm masonry drill bit. The walls are plaster, but they're very soft, the first couple of centimetres of plaster, and then it does get a bit harder the last little, I'm not sure, 10-20 millimetres. So the plaster part of it is very weak, then the brick part of it underneath is quite strong. The thing is, when you're building a house that you didn't build yourself, you don't know what they did. It's quite an old house, so I haven't got any plans or anything, so I'm guessing what there'll be is, above the window is probably a concrete lintel. So they build up with bricks and a bit of a concrete beam across the top to hold the strength of the roof up. That probably sticks out a little bit, but I don't know how far it sticks out. So you might find that your drill is real hard to get into there because you're going into that concrete part. You might be lucky and go into brick, or you might have a wooden house and then you can get into the batten or into plasterboard. So don't copy my fixings because you'll be different. I just found in my toolbox, I had some blue wall plugs, which is the 7mm drill bit you need. And then I searched from toolboxes for some silver screws because the brackets are silver. I didn't really want to have brass screws. I made sure they got quite a big screw head on them, so it's not going to pull through that hole. I made sure they're small enough to go through the hole, but haven't actually screwed it in yet. If I try and find, where is the screw? Right, so here's the wall plug. So do a 7mm drill hole, push that in. It went in quite easy, but then I used the hammer to tap it in the last little bit. And then I'm going to use a silver coloured screw. It's not very long, but there's going to be 6 of them. It's quite a fat screw into wall plug. Hopefully it's strong enough to hold up the curtain. If anyone yanks on the curtain, they could pull it off, but I'd have to get a longer screw, but we'll see. That might be good enough. So I've done 2 holes there. I've done the 2 holes there. All I've got to do now is do another 2 holes in the wall there, and then I'll put in the blue wall plug. Before I put the wall plug in, I get a hoover, I suck out all the debris and all the dust, because otherwise this won't fit in. So just tap it in. I take off the masking tape first as well, because when it comes to painting it, I don't have bits of masking tape ripped off. So take off the masking tape. I put the masking tape back on there just to show you. But if you pull it off, you can see there is 2 wall plugs in the wall there. And then before I put the screw in, I'll make sure it's nice and neat. There's no plaster or paint peeling off. And then when it comes to painting it, I might unscrew the wall plug, unscrew the bracket completely, or I might paint around. Usually I take it off, but I might paint around it, because the next person who has a different bracket will probably want to paint the room anyway, so it makes a difference really. Yeah, so all I'm going to do is take the tape off. I'll drill the holes to the tape, take the tape off, put the wall plugs in, and then I'm good to go. I'll screw the 3 brackets to the wall. Hopefully they're strong enough, and then I'll put the curtain up. But like you just seen then on my face, that's the green laser. Don't look at it with the naked eye, but it's quite handy because it means I haven't got to hold the curtain poles by myself. And I can see the only difficulty bit is from that far away, trying to get it perfectly to line up with them holes in the wall. It's a bit fiddly. You've got to go up a little bit, down a little bit, up it down a bit. But that looks pretty good to me. Now, I don't know if it looks level from here because the ceiling might be off, or that line, the window might be off, but we're trusting the laser level. We're going for that. It does line up, it makes sense. It looks like it's right. So do a few more holes and then that'll be it. That's how you put up a curtain pole. Once you've got the curtain pole up and it's screwed in, sometimes the curtain poles have got little scrub screws to keep the pole locked into place, but these guys are little rubber things. So you just pull the pole quite hard on there, make sure you don't pull it off, but if your screws are strong enough to hold up the curtain, it should be strong enough to hold up. You pull on it a little bit, and then just put your curtain pole up. I'm not sure what type of curtain you've got, so you might have rings or holes in the curtains, so I'm not really going to show you that because everyone's different, but that's just how to mark, measure, drill the holes and put up a curtain pole. Okay, hope you liked the little video. I'm not going to make it too long. Next one might be, I'm not sure really, I've got a few more curtain poles to go up. I've got a curtain blind, a blind to go up, so I might make a blind up this time. Same sort of thing, but there's a blind, not a curtain. And then a few more DIY things to come up. TV to go on the wall there very soon, so that'll be a good one to watch. I know a lot of people have media walls and chimney TVs, but no one really describes what they're doing. They just do a little video short of them doing it. So I might describe what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Okay, stay tuned. Thanks for liking. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and see you soon.